This is yours? Why on earth is your cupcake on my chair?
Because it's very special to me, so I can put it wherever I want. This is your fault. Now you have to buy me a new cupcake.
You're wearing a wedding dress to my wedding.
This is not a wedding dress. It's a white floor-length gown. It's very different.
Did it come with a veil?
No, it came with a headdress.
What?
It's the Al Travis Show. We love getting Matt in here once in a while, talking Matt on baseball. Matt, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Al. How about yourself?
I'm good. I read this story first thing this morning, and I couldn't help but think Matt's going to love this. Clayton Kershaw, right, gets his 3,000th strikeout, and evidently there's only 20 in all of baseball in history. Yeah. Does that make what does that make you feel? I mean, how does that work for you?
You know, I'm not a Dodger fan, but I'm a baseball excellence in baseball fan, and that is you have to stand back and admire that. I mean, Kershaw, of everybody who's not active in front of him on that list, with two exceptions, who has 3,000 strikeouts, is in the Hall of Fame. So that's one of those all-time great thresholds. You know, there was a period a decade ago where Clayton Kershaw was the best pitcher in baseball. I remember all those 2.0 ERAs for a number of years.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to see. You know, he was the only one of two pitchers in the last 35 years to win MVPs, won Cy Young 3 times. So this is sort of the crown on top. But yeah, it's great to see. He's earned it. He's been a great pitcher.
But what does that do for you? Because it's got to bring up the idea that we're never going to see this sort of thing again.
Yeah.
Right. The way they treat baseball players now, that, you know, you start feeling a little rough, or the little thing, we'll pull you out, they'll sit you for 3 days. You know, they put so much money into these guys. I don't know what he made when he started, but I bet you it was like $1 million.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he's not going to be unable to buy groceries.
No, but you get my point. But he started so long ago. That was back when they let you play.
Yes.
They don't anymore. These kids, Byron Buxton, I mean, he's played almost a whole year now. We're amazed. A lot of people have played a whole year of baseball. We just treat them differently. You think you'll ever see other pitchers do this now?
I think it will be probably not. The two pitchers behind him who are active, who are closest to him, are Chris Sale, who's about 500 strikeouts behind, but he just fractured a rib trying to make the play. Garrett Cole is about 800 strikeouts behind, and he's out for the whole year for Tommy John surgery. So, no, I think we're seeing a lot. We talked about this last year, I think, a lot of pitcher injuries. Not only because, you know, you don't have a Nolan Ryan anymore who will pitch, 13 innings every game.
Yeah.
Also, the emphasis is on speed and torque, how you can, spin the pitch, and that puts a lot of pressure on pitchers' arms. And this year, we're seeing a whole lot of pitcher injuries among some of the best pitchers. So, no, I think it'll be a stretch if we see 3,000 again. I just did the math. 3,000, he pitched for 17 years. A number of those, he was injured in recent years.
No.
But that is an average of 177 strikeouts a year. Right? And that's pretty amazing for somebody who's been injured for several years.
And only 4 lefties. I don't know why that would be different with a left-hander, but maybe because there's just so fewer left-handers, right?
Yes, I think so. I think that's right. Right.
But when we look at those kind of statistics, was it Cal Ripken, or who was the guy with the most games played in a row?
Cal Ripken. Yeah.
Cal Ripken, okay. Mm-hmm. I remember as a kid when he was getting near the end of that, even thinking to his buddies were chatting, he shouldn't have played yesterday or whatever. They kept that streak going for him as long as they could. Yeah. But then you got to look at it now and say there's not a chance anyone ever in the history of baseball will ever play that many games in a row. They just won't let him.
Yeah, they won't. And he did it at shortstop, one of the most commanding positions on the field. So, I think that's right. I don't think we're ever. You never say never, but I think some records you'll never see broken. That is one of them. The consecutive games played. I think what was DiMaggio's hitting streak? 56 games in a row. I don't think we'll ever see that broken. He set that, in 1950 something?
Well, because people can't, or because you're going to play 50. You won't play 56 games in a row. Is that what you're saying? Or
getting a hit 56 games in a row is pretty incredible. I think the other record that's never going to be broken. You know who has the most strikeouts in history, right? Who's number 1 on that list?
Off the top of my head, I do not.
Nolan Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has 5,700 strikeouts in his career. Number 2 is Randy Johnson, about 900 strikeouts behind. Nobody's ever going to break that record.
Yeah, but longevity does that too. You've changed the basketball. LeBron James has a ton of records, so he's been able to hold up, not ripping him, kept his body in shape, played for 22 years, started when he was 18. A lot of those records, just the amount of time you're going to pass people, because back in the day, they didn't play for 25 years, didn't make the money. I want to ask you about the All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Does that jazz you up or does it not?
Well, the thing that it did not jazz me up until the last couple of days, the game is in Atlanta.
Yep.
And Ronald Acuna, who in my view is the best player in baseball, but had been out a year, he came back after an ACL injury, a second one in the last few years. He came back in mid-May, and he's been voted to start the All-Star game. And
there you go.
That's a sign of how, otherworldly he's playing. So, no, I'm excited about that. I'm excited. It'll be interesting. The managers will make a decision about who starts the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking the best pitcher in baseball right now is, I think, Tarik Skubal. That guy is a monster.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun to watch him mow down other batters. He probably won't stand for more than 1 or 2 innings. But
see, but this is back to where I get I get to complain about the whole weekend.
Yeah.
First off, if the game's going to be important, let's make it important for a reason. It can't be money now. They all make so darn much money. What do you give them, another $100,000? No one cares. So it isn't about the money. We got to do something to make that game worth something. So we see that your best pitcher can come in. I would love an all-star game where some starting pitcher went 6 or 7 innings, 2-3 times down the best batters. You don't see baseball. And let's throw the rest of it out. The all-star celebrity softball game. You're going to stop down and watch that, are you, Matt? Is this something that intrigues you to see some rapper playing softball? I'm not watching. I got no time for it.
I'll probably watch because Acuna will be in there a couple innings, so I'll probably watch that. But no, I haven't watched the All-Star game for a number of years for the reasons you're saying. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Maybe I think I've seen the home run derby a couple of times because that's kind of fun. But
I'll watch that, and I will go out of my way to watch it because, again, there's some I don't know if they need to take timeouts and yada yada. But anyway, the celebrity softball game, no one cares. Get rid of it. Stop making people have to buy tickets to this stupid thing and watch. I'll watch the home run derby. The All-Star game, again, I'd like to see them yell out, but I'd like it to be a baseball game. How do we make it important?
Yeah.
Back in the day, right? Winning team gets home field advantage.
That's what they did before. I don't know why they took that away. I mean, the American League was winning the All-Star game for a number of years in a row, and so the National League kind of got left out. So I don't know why they made that change. Yeah, I have to think about that one. I'm not sure. I think the best team should get home field advantage. I don't think it should hinge on the All-Star game. You play 162 games for a reason, right?
And where are you on this? Every team has to send somebody. You're going to have a Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, everybody gets a blue ribbon.
Everybody's going to have someone on the team. It makes you watch. I get it. But I would then, this is the best of the best. You should all be happy you got here. You got a souvenir hat and whatever.
Yeah.
But now let's have the best play. And let's get into situation baseball. I would love that. We're not going to see it. Every inning, a new pitcher. And every inning that you haven't been in yet, you go play left field. I just want to see the best of the best.
No, I agree with you. And nobody's going to go all out because they don't want to get injured, particularly if their teams are in the playoff hunt, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say I just saw that in Atlanta they're going to do a tribute to Hank Aaron, which I would like to see, right? Classy guy, and it makes sense that Atlanta would be doing that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely should have it. Got to go to break. When we come back, we'll bust down what's going on in baseball itself. But I've got him. It's Matt on baseball. We don't have a lot to talk about here in Minnesota. We'll make it fun on the other
or
side.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
Achieving your financial goals requires individual planning and a comprehensive approach. At Midwest Money Management, our mission is to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Learn more at MidwestMoneyManagement.com. That's MidwestMoneyManagement.com.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc., Midwest Money Management, and JW Cole Financial Inc. and JW Cole Advisors Inc. are unaffiliated entities.
need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on The Al Travis Show.
We've got a Matt on baseball. Matt, my man, how the money has fallen. I think 2-3 times ago you and I were chatting, and I was bringing up how fantastic the Central is in the American League. Detroit, Minnesota, at that time we had 4 teams that would have made the playoffs. This is a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
We would have had all the wild cards. Now, other than Detroit, even my Twins, I'm sorry, there were things going on, wipe us off the mat, we're done. Now, Detroit still rocking it. I think ESPN has them in second of the power ranking behind L.A. Yeah. But how do you not go with L.A.? I mean, that team, the nearest competitor to them, 8.5 games. It's over. Yeah. The Dodgers have it, right?
Yeah, I think it is over in the AL West. The Dodgers have been challenged all year by the Padres, but now they seem to be pulling away. They've just got too much depth. Their pitchers are starting to come back. You know, they had a bunch of pitchers injured, and they're in that position without Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow, 2 of their best pitchers, who are coming back in the second half. So watch out. It's
a plethora of talent, so Dodgers have got that. Anything else? Your Atlanta Braves season, I hate to say it, you're 11 games out, we're 12 out. Is there anything looking up for you guys? Is there a chance to catch Philly? I mean, I know we're halfway through. No, technically, there is.
There isn't. I mean, our two of our 3 best pitchers just got injured. Chris Sale fractured a rib. I mean, he was starting to look like a Cy Young candidate again. Fractured a rib. I don't know how long he's out. And we just found out yesterday Spencer Schwellenbach, their number 3 starter, fractured his pitching elbow. So I think they're done, even though Spencer Strider is starting to pitch like he's capable of, and they just got Jurickson Profar back, who was out for a PEDS suspension. Yeah. He just came back yesterday, hit a home run, and then got another RBI. So, I think they're done. They don't have the pitching.
See, that's where we're at now. We lost Pedro Lopez, Zebby, who names her kids Zebby. And now yesterday, Ober's out with a hip injury. I mean, we don't even, not any of the starters. We are in such bad trouble. And we just don't get the hits when we need them. It's not going well. Other divisions, Toronto just decided
with the Yankees.
They decided they could play ball. They want to play ball. And that, which was going to be a New York-Boston duo, or, duel, is really Toronto's, right? They've decided they can play ball with anybody.
Yeah, it's amazing. They've got a real mix of veteran and young talent. They've got some veteran pitchers who are I mean, their 2 best pitchers are Chris Bassett and Kevin Gausman, who I think are in their mid to late 30s. So, they're playing well. They're playing really well. They I think they beat the Yankees in a slugfest last night at the end.
Yes.
It's exciting to see somebody challenge the Yankees. So I think that, if the season were to end today, it would be the 2 wild cards would come out of the AL East.
Yeah, that's absolutely flipped. You're absolutely correct. Houston, the cheater pumpkin eaters, they seem to be taking care of the West, no problem. Anybody they're going to give them anything? We're beating up on Seattle. We're winning our share there. They're not much of a squad. I don't think anybody taking Houston.
Although they would be, if the season ended today, Seattle would be a wild card, I think.
45, 1, no. Oh, yeah, they would. They'd be the last one. Yep.
What's exciting about that, you always think about them as great pitching, terrible offense. But this year they have this offensive star, Cal Raleigh, their catcher, who's unbelievable. He leads the majors in home runs. He's getting MVP votes behind Aaron Judge. So that's interesting. Yeah.
All right, and then in the National League, we'll bust that down quick. Phillies, Philadelphia, they're, just 2 games ahead of the Mets. Mets seem to be getting a little something there. But then it's Atlanta, and you guys say you guys are out of it.
We're done. Phillies are too strong. They have both the offense. Bryce Harper just came back. But their pitching rotation, I think they have the best pitching rotation in baseball.
Oh, so you don't think the Mets might hang, but they're not going to win them? They're not going to overtake them?
I don't think they're going to win the division. They don't have the pitching. They have the offense maybe to make a run at a wild card for sure.
All right. And then in the Central, Chicago Cubs. I tell you start looking at the cities at the top. These are all major cities for baseball. Probably not bad for them. Chicago is ahead of Milwaukee by 3, but that's a game, right? I mean, that's you got a half a season to go. 3 is not insurmountable. Do you like the Brewers or you like the Cubs?
Yeah, the Brewers always seem to make it. They just brought up a guy who throws 103 miles an hour from the minor leagues, Jacob Misiorowski.
That'll happen for 6 months, and then bop. You can't make the body throw like that.
I know. He came up his first 11 innings in the major leagues were no hitter. It was a no hitter.
Yeah.
Nobody got a hit
Yeah.
off him, and then he kind of blew up a little bit last night. But he'll have the talent if his arm doesn't blow out to do pretty well. And they've got a guy named Brandon Woodruff who has been their mainstay pitcher for a while. Is about to come back from injury. So I like the Brewers, but I don't think they're gonna. I think the Cubs have that division.
All right, that's fair enough. Obviously, the Dodgers, we've already talked about them. They're just the elite. The Padres aren't going to be able to hang anymore. Is there anybody in there you're looking at? I want to talk about two bad teams after this.
Well, I'll just say quickly, the third wild card right now, again, if the season ended today, would not be the Padres. It would be the St. Louis Cardinals. So it may be, it may not be the AL Central producing the wild cards. It may be the NL Central this year.
Yeah, that's a great point. Let me ask you on two teams. The Chicago White Sox, 28 wins, 25.5 out. And you think it can't get worse. You live in Colorado. 35.5 games out. They have yet to win 20 ball games. They're 224 down in the points ratio, points for and against. I don't care how many first-round draft picks you give them. This team, how do you come back from this? No one's showing up. You have no money. No one's buying the T-shirts. No one's buying the sweatshirts. No one's buying the hats. How in the world do you come back from letting a team go this south?
Yeah,
either way.
I mean, I think it's a couple things, and I'm not an expert on the business side of baseball. I would say certainly draft picks. You've got to give teams like that draft picks and revenue sharing. When you sign, when Major League Baseball signs these huge, TV agreements with broadcast stations, there has to be some revenue sharing so they have money to spend on free agents. But we're going to see both of those teams have some good players. So they will probably be sellers at the trade deadline. But
so now you're selling.
Solve the problem.
You got nothing. Yes, that's where I'm at. I'm looking at my Minnesota Twins, and I'm like, they're for sale. Do you put any money in this? The hope to try? Because now you're just battling to get into the playoffs. What do you sell for that? You make your books look bad. Do you sell it less? I'm going to tell you, I don't think Minnesota does anything at the trade deadline. Then just say, we're just fingers crossed we can get into the playoffs and consider it a decent year. That's my book.
The challenge with that for teams is they don't want to send the message to fans that they've accepted they're losing and they're not going to make the playoffs, right? So there's a psychological element to whether you're a seller or a buyer at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I got to fly, my friend. It's always a pleasure. We get you back in here. It'll be after the All-Star game, and we'll try to pretend there's something fun to watch there, and we'll chat about it. Fair enough?
Hope nobody gets hurt, yes.
Yeah. Appreciate you being here, my friend. We'll talk.
All right, me too. See you later.
He's
Bye-bye.
Matt on baseball.